Hi everyone, I'm coming back at you with another cooking video, and today is Sunday, so I wanted to cook a very comforting food. So we're having chicken and dumplings today. So here I have my stock just for the dumplings, and in the stock I have 2 carrots peeled, half an onion, 3 garlic cloves. I'm going to get a large spoon here so I can bring some of these ingredients to the top. I have about 5 chicken breasts, and I use not 5 chicken breasts, I'm sorry, 5 chicken thighs. I use chicken thighs because chicken thighs are a little bit more juicier in my opinion. I have 2 stalks of celery. I keep the leaves on for added flavor, and so I'm going to skim some of this fat off the top here once it gets to a good roll. As far as the seasonings go, I used all of these seasonings. I like my broth very flavorful, so let's go. Oregano, I use 1/4 of a teaspoon. Basil, I use half a teaspoon. Black pepper, 1 teaspoon. Rosemary, I use 1/4 of a teaspoon. This chicken bouillon flavor, I use 2 tablespoons. Onion powder, 1 teaspoon. Garlic powder, 1 teaspoon. And salt, I use 1 teaspoon. Now this again is just for the stock. Once I start to cook my dumplings, I will of course add flavoring just to taste. So for the stock itself, those were the ingredients. But for the soup, I will add not 2, but 1 stalk of celery, 1 more carrot chopped up, a half an onion, and a 1/4 of a cup of peas. I will come back at you guys and show you my dumpling recipe. I use a variation of Betty's Kitchen along with Divas Can Cook, and I just combined those 2 recipes to make my dumplings. Alright you guys, see you in a second. Hey you guys, I am back to show you how I make my dumplings. Now, this obviously isn't how you make dumplings. These are my vegetables to go once I'm done with the chicken. It's still simmering here. It's been simmering for about 30 minutes. And one thing I forgot to mention, of course, you'll need to shred up your chicken once it's done simmering, and you will put that back in the pot. So here I have my 1 stalk of celery, my 1 carrot, and my half of onion. I wanted to mention that traditional chicken and dumplings does not consist of you adding these. I just wanted to add them because they're pretty and it's colorful and it adds just a little flavor. The carrot's really not too much, but the celery and onion, yeah. But traditional chicken and dumplings, it wouldn't have any of these extra vegetables once you're done, but some people like to add this. I'm not going to add my peas because I changed my mind. So here are my dry ingredients for the dumplings. I have 3 cups of flour, all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Now you should, or you could I should say, use self-rising flour, 3 cups, but I don't have self-rising flours, hence why I had to add the baking powder and salt. Once you're done incorporating the dry ingredients, you add your wet. Here is where my recipe differs a little bit from people. I have half a cup of butter, 1 egg, half a cup of milk, and half a cup of either the chicken broth you already have or any chicken stock you have. Then I will combine all of that, roll it up into a ball, flatten it out here on my counter, and cut them into 1-inch squares, and I'll be back and show you guys how I'll do that. Now you have to make sure that your chicken broth is boiling once you drop those dumplings in, and for me it'll take about 15 to 20 minutes to cook once I'm done. So I'll be back with you guys in just a second. Okay, y'all, I have my dough out here. I flattened it or rolled it out. And so now I'm cutting it. And so what you want to do is just cut going vertically here. And I'm trying to hurry up because when you're working with pastry, you have to work fairly fast because of the butter. So you see what I'm doing here, just cutting these into squares. Now when I was growing up, and see how this is tearing apart, it's a little humid here in Arizona too, so I need to hurry up. When I was growing up, my big mama, yes, my big mama, she would cut these fairly large, but they will grow, almost double in size. So you don't want them too big. Again, that either self-rising flour or the baking powder and the salt will make the dumplings puff up. So I'm going to drop these into my water. I'm going to finish cutting these out, and I'll show you guys how I'll drop them in the pot. See you in a second. All right, you guys, so I have my chicken shredded up here. I'm going to add this back to the broth. What I did was here's my broth is boiling, so I want to stand back a little bit because I don't want this splattering on me. And now I'm going to also add my vegetables here. Again, I'm not adding the peas. Okay. I'm going to wait about 5 or 8 minutes before I add the dumplings. Now, remember how I was telling you guys that you have to be very quick when you're working with dough or any type of pastry that has butter in it. And sure enough, I had to make those dang on dumplings at least twice. We're in the middle of, or the end of November, and it's about 78 degrees here, 78. The temperature went up, and so I had some problems with the dough. So what I did, I'll show you guys. I went ahead and formed the dumplings, and I put them, yes, flour and all, because I had to hurry up. I put them in the fridge, and once my peas and carrots get to a pretty good state, I would add the dumplings. Now, I know there may be some of you guys out there who are saying, I don't have time to be looking over some pot, waiting for chicken to boil in order for me to make my broth and to make some chicken and dumplings. Well, you can get around that. What you could do is buy a roasted chicken. You can use a container of chicken stock, 1 can of cream of chicken soup. Go ahead and add your seasonings here like I showed you. For your dumplings, you can use a biscuit mix and just make your dumplings out of there. And there you go. You can have chicken and dumplings, I guess semi-homemade. But I like chicken and dumplings from scratch, at least semi from scratch. It adds so much more flavor. But again, if you don't have time for that, you can go that route. So again, I'm going to let this get to a boil, and I'm going to drop my dumplings in about 5 or 8 minutes. Okay, I'll see you guys then. All right, you guys, so my water is boiling. I've already added some of my dumplings. So now I'm just going to add a few more. Just dropping them in. Ooh, it smells so good. Okay, you don't want to overcrowd your pot. Yeah, it's pretty crowded now. So I think I made a lot of dumplings. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell this. I don't want to disturb the dumplings too much while they're in a sensitive state. So I think I can add just a few more. And I'm going to let this simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. All right, so I will come back with you guys once this is done. I would spoon in some in a bowl and probably taste it too because I'm greedy. See you guys in a second. Hi everyone, I'm back with the final presentation of my chicken and dumplings. Doesn't it look so good? And it smells so good that, you know what? I'm not going to waste any time getting in this. I'm so sorry to be greedy. I'm probably the greediest person this side of the Mason-Dixon line, so I'm just going to go ahead. Oh, it's so good. I know you guys, I know I said that you can cut some corners, but please don't. If you have time on a Sunday, Saturday, or weekday, make this. It is so good. The chicken is so juicy, and I added a little bit of parsley and, of course, a little bit more black pepper, so Here's the recipe, and I hope you guys enjoy. Bye.